Okay, everyone, we are gonna take a couple of minutes to let some of the late people kind of come in and get settled. So in the meantime, make sure you got your pajama jams on and something to drink and maybe a notebook, and we will start in a couple of seconds. Alrighty, it looks like we got some people coming in, and we are gonna go ahead and start. Let me just turn on my slideshow. Alrighty, so yay, it's the branding webinar. We had a huge response to this webinar. I'm super excited. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It's PostFilm's brand planning webinar. And tonight we are going to be talking about planning your brand for 2015 and what ways you can make your brand more communicative. Some tools you'll need to break up your marketing activities throughout the year. We're also going to talk about taking stress off of yourself through taking back control of your brand, taking an active stance as the master of your brand domain. So yeah, super exciting. I'm really glad that you guys are here. It should be a lot of fun. So sit back, relax, enjoy. And before we get into it, just a quick reminder, while I am teaching, my very lovely assistant, Jared, is going to be on Twitter on PostFilm Design, and he's going to be collecting questions throughout the event for our live Q&A at the very end. So while I'm teaching, make sure to jump on Twitter and connect with us there. We're also going to be doing our giveaway via Twitter. So whoever stays until the very end, we're going to be giving out a couple of really cool things. We're giving out a free year to Shoot Proof, one of their subscriptions. We're also going to be giving out a bag of locally roasted coffee from Shea Latte, who I'm really excited about. She's an up-and-coming brand. I'm also personally going to be giving away a 90-minute private consultation to one lucky person. So all you need to do to enter is just tweet at us. And of course, if you guys have any questions that you ask via Twitter will automatically be put in for a chance to grab one of the goodies. But you don't have to ask a question. So if you just want to be entered for the giveaway, all you need to do is just tweet us something, I don't know, high five or hey or whatever you want, and we'll make sure that you're accounted for. Okay, so since there are a ton of new people in this webinar, I wanted to give you guys a quick intro to the PostFilm team and kind of give you an idea of why we're experts in branding and why you should listen to us and who we are and what we look like and what we do and how we do it. So because there's new people, it gives me an opportunity to make some new friends, and I love new friends. So this is our team. I'm Elle. I am the lovely lady to the very far left. And I'm the founder of the PostFilm team, and I'm also the head brand strategist. The bearded gentleman in the middle, his name is Jared. He's the team's web developer, and he's also a user experience design expert. He's the man that will actually be chatting with you on Twitter today. And the very beautiful lady at the very, very end at the right, that is Maria. She is our second designer and illustrator, and she also handles print collateral design. So in tandem, our team works together to create branding environments for businesses that exist all over the world, and we're very fortunate and thankful that we get to do that. The brand that you're looking at is from Jenna. She is in Hong Kong, and I think she's actually tuned into this webinar. So hey, girl. Her brand is going to be launching in Q1 or Q2 of 2015. So woo! And what our team at PostFilm does is we solve branding problems for existing brands, and we also create new brand strategy designs for companies that are ready to graduate into better graphics and better messaging. And the one thing that everyone shares in common is that everyone is just ready to move to the next level in their business in whatever capacity, whether they're big or little or whatever. The other thing is, it's important to know, is that we work with both micro businesses, which is traditionally named as 3 to 4 employees and under. And a lot of those people are solo entrepreneurs and artists, photographers, you name it. And the flip side of our business also works with very large companies, 5 to 30 employee businesses. The reason that's important is because we're literally one of the only branding companies in this particular bracket that focuses on small businesses. And we take large business tactics and we boil it down for the small business bracket. Our branding philosophy at PostFilm incorporates big brand ideas like target market research, marketing message development, competition analysis, which these ideas and this kind of research has kind of been reserved for huge companies for far too long, in our opinion. And ultimately, our goal is to always bring some of these incredibly best kept secrets of multi-million-dollar companies and kind of bring it back down to small business entrepreneurs and hopefully giving them the opportunity to create incredible change and clarity in your guys' businesses. So ultimately, we kind of think that nothing really is a secret, and everyone, no matter what size of the company you have, should have good access to the correct information. So one of the most important things to know to get the most out of today's webinar is that the PostFilm team has a branding philosophy that starts at understanding that your brand is not your logo design. So what we do is we craft experiences based on the idea that a brand is an actual living, breathing entity that your clients are experiencing in multiple ways. Say, for example, your website on the go that your client is pulling up on their phone while they're out in the real world. We think that's a touch point, just like this is one of our brands that we did for Regina as the photographer in Tampa. Hey girl, I think she's probably here tonight too. We think that your experiences encompass things like that, all the way to your booking process, to your marketing efforts, and yeah, totally, the feeling that you get from the overall design of your brand, like your logo or the colors you choose. We believe that a brand is the experience you create for your customers, that a brand is made up of smart and appealing messages that you end up delivering to people, and that all of your design work, all of your website work, every word that you use in your marketing, all of those things, they act as a support system for that interior message of your brand. And we know that a small business, I mean, you guys are the master of your domain, and likewise, you should be masters of the stories that you're telling to your customers. And we think that design, yeah, it's incredibly important, but a design isn't the only part of your brand that's going to make you an incredible success. What will make you a great success is a clear and decisive action plan for your brand that you can check back through, share with your team, work hard on throughout the year. And that's what we're going to talk about today. This is what this whole webinar is going to be about. I want to open your mind to the idea that your brand design should embody the feeling you want to project out into the world. It should uphold and be the experience you want your ideal clients to actually have with your company. Your brand design, your brand focus, your brand message, all of these things should flow together in tandem to give you that boost that you're looking for, to set you apart from your competitors. And right now we're going to be talking about ways you can make a better plan to rock your brand throughout the year 2015. We're talking about taking back control, putting that control directly in your hands to make sure that you're crafting amazing first impressions for new and existing audiences. And as individuals, I mean, the honest truth is we all judge brands on first look and first impression, just like we would with, I don't know, first interaction with a new person. The experience of what it's like ordering at your restaurant, or how difficult it is to fill out your contact form on a website to get in touch with you. Every experience that you're giving someone should be thought out with one purpose in mind. And that's to give someone the best possible impression of you and of your brand. If you're not crafting an experience, if you're not giving an amazing introduction of yourself to your potential clients, you don't ever get that second chance at making that first impression. So my team believes your brand has the power to really touch people. We know your brand can actually speak to people. It can reach people. It can make them feel whatever you want them to feel. And ultimately, if you think about it, that's bigger and more important than just design. That's actually brand strategy. And it's taking advantage of opportunities that have been given to you. That's assessing the world around you. It's being conscious of your choices. And all of that is part of being a kick-ass business owner. So as a small business owner, it's tough to know how to make all of these decisions. I mean, the cruel irony of this is that because you guys are so incredibly close to your own business, it makes it really difficult to be objective and to dedicate time to being an expert in brand development. And with all the requirements of running a business, from developing products, answering emails, making current clients happy, paying employees, I mean, it's kind of no wonder it can be easy to majorly overlook the nuances of making an incredible yearly brand plan for yourself. And if you're sitting here going, I'm listening to Elle, this is really foreign, I'm kind of freaking out, don't worry about it. Just know that right now you're in the right place and you're talking to the right people. And we want this webinar to start getting you focused and strong and making a solid plan for yourself. And I'm going to introduce you to some brand planning ideas that will change the way that you view your brand. And hopefully it set you guys on a stronger path that helps you to really start asking harder questions and digging deeper and thinking like a big, strategic, maybe even multi-million-dollar business. I mean, there really isn't anything stopping you from doing better or being savvier and using tools that huge companies are using right now. So, okay, let's talk about why you're here. So all of you are going to be looking for ways to make people remember you in 2015. You're looking for ways to grow your brand, to maybe boost engagement, to build brand fanatics that just love you to pieces. And you're also trying to make sure that you don't miss opportunities in 2015. And ultimately, all of those ideas boil down into a deep desire to grow your business. And you're here because you're looking for answers. You've been wondering what you could possibly do to make yourself more successful. And the PostFilm team is here to encourage you to take a look at the interior of your business brand message and really consider what message you're sending out into the world. We want you to learn some of the tools that we use to help bigger businesses grow, which are tools we know will help really set you apart, help your brand grow, help you get in touch with your ideal clients more effectively. And I kind of want to pause and take a second. So everyone here, you guys don't get enough recognition for all of the hard work you put into your businesses. And most of you guys are unfunded entrepreneurs and you don't have millions of dollars in your back pocket just throw out there to just hire and do whatever you want. And I really want to applaud you guys. You definitely need to know that you guys are a part of a super rare breed of small business owners that are out there working their asses off to make their dreams come true at any given avenue that they possibly can. And you guys are really amazing. You're the kind of people who inspire others, and I absolutely have no doubt that you can accomplish whatever you put your mind to, seriously. And that's why I'm putting on the branding webinar for you guys today, because I really believe in you guys. So one of the things the PostFilm crew has noticed from working with small businesses and large businesses is that honestly, there isn't much of a difference of how a big business gets started versus how you get started. I mean, truly the only difference that we can see between you guys is funding. And a really big business, I mean, like a $3 million a year company, it's obvious they have more access to the luxury of hiring, I don't know, full-time employees to work on marketing departments, and they're able to throw cash at building big brand awareness campaigns faster than a scrappy, unfunded entrepreneur that's maybe $60,000 a year. But how a bigger company does this, it's not any different than how you guys can do it. And it's all about focusing what drives you and familiarizing yourself with what your next steps are. And I'm gonna tell you an honest truth. It begins with an excellent interior business structure. I mean, you have to understand that a brand touches your target market in every single way possible. That every time you market yourself or every time you write a blog post, you're building your brand story. Everything from voice and tone in social media and blog posts to how you describe your business in person at a social mixer or maybe a holiday party. These are all opportunities that you guys are able to use to tell the story of you and what makes you so unique. And it really, truly is not enough to just put your services out into the world. You need to connect with others, and you have to make sure that they're getting a clear picture of who you are. So think of a brand like a spider's web. I want you to visualize what a spider's web looks like. The center of your web is your brand philosophy at its core. The patterns circling out from that center are all of the activities that you do in the year to embody that core philosophy of that brand. Every little line reaching off of the interior of your web needs to be strong, purposeful, and downright attractive so you can nab and catch clients in your web. So if you're writing a blog post, or maybe you're shaking someone's hand at that holiday party, and you're doing maybe even a live interview, those are little tiny strings attached to the center of your brand message. They're like little introductions of your brand to your audience or your clients. If one part of your web is broken or weak or badly spun or just not rehearsed well enough, you end up losing that opportunity to catch your next client because they end up walking away without having ever even touched the brand that you're even weaving for them. They have no idea. So what are some of the next steps you need to work on in order to start breaking this kind of crazy concept down for yourself for 2015? Where do you start? Right now is truly perfect opportunity for you to take the next couple of weeks over the holiday and really sit down to assess where your weaknesses are in your brand and maybe beyond. And it's the perfect opportunity to figure out what times during the calendar year next year would be the most effective to release these little tidbits that your audience will absolutely love. But first, I'm going to give you some simple tools. Okay, I need you guys to ask yourself, how do I create this amazing spider web that is so enticing that it catches all of my ideal clients in its net? So in order to create a great, long-lasting impression throughout a calendar year, your plan should begin with understanding what your ideal customer or client actually wants from you. You have to have an understanding of who you're catering to in order to really develop a bigger and better plan. And I know it's a hassle, it's a big pain in the ass, it's not easy. And I really encourage you all to sit down and actually write it out. You need to pull out a calendar or grab a notebook, doodle it, put it in a Word doc, whatever is comfortable for you guys. But you need to start thinking of this concept like you're building an empire on paper. this plan you're making, it's so important that I want you to really begin to think about it like it's something real. It's tangible. It's something that exists. It has life. You can share it with someone. Start to think about this activity like it's a little seed that you're planting that will help build your manifesto for your business. And okay, repeat after me. You cannot create without first knowing who you are creating for. So what exactly should you write down? Okay, so let's talk about target markets and demographics, because this is kind of a big deal for branding, and it's a big deal for planning your calendar for next year. What exactly does a target market or a demographic mean? So it's an idea that you need to begin with of starting who exactly your ideal client is and what you think they're all about. So some of the popular categories to suss out an ideal client or maybe a group of people and really get a profile going are age and gender, occupation, income, hobbies, purchasing habits. And I know in this group we have a couple of actors, we have some handletters, so people that are kind of looking for agencies to hire them. So we're also going to be covering a little bit of hiring habits. So let's start to talk about a few of these over the next couple of slides. So first, good foundation question to ask is, what age is your client? And is it a range of ages? And are you catering maybe to a specific gender? So the other thing to ask too is how specific of a lifestyle are you going to be targeting? So you have to assess if your business is maybe a little bit more advanced as well. Are you catering to several types of people? That's totally fine. You can segment your list, all that good stuff. And if you are doing that, you really need to figure out who the heck they are too. So target demographics, they're a great place to start. And specifically age brackets, I mean, that kind of beginning of a demographic, they'll have more or less developed career paths, and ultimately, talking about income, they'll have a varying income range depending on age and their occupation. So if you're chasing after a certain type of person, you need to start assessing what type of career or age they might actually be. So is it important that you have a target market that has a lot of money? Is that something that you really need out of your target demographic? Or do you think maybe it's more important to chase after a certain community that's full of a range of ages and occupations? And maybe the other option is, if you're looking to work in a smaller income range, are you going to be working really, really hard to let those people see a value in you, and then you'll be able to charge a premium at the top of the bracket? I mean, these are a ton of questions you need to ask yourself. You need to dig deep. You need to ask yourself hard questions like, why do my clients need me? Where do they come from? What kind of services am I actually offering them? And yes, sometimes just knowing them personally can really help set you apart, like knowing their hobbies or where they hang out on the weekends or what they value in their lives. You want to be as specific as you possibly can be, and the more you can identify about your target market, the more you'll be able to create a lasting yearly brand message, and ultimately you'll be able to develop a better brand personality, and hopefully it leads you to better brand graphics that appeal to those people. You need to know when and where someone is going to want to take advantage of whatever you're offering. Okay, so hiring habits. This is an offshoot discussion. I wanted to address this because I do know that there are some people here that are interested in looking at agencies. So what kind of agencies exist? What ones will be most likely to cast for roles if you're an actor? What do you think will be a good fit for you? These are questions you need to ask yourself if you fall in that demographic. The other things you need to ask yourself if you're looking for hiring, trying to assess hiring habits, are maybe what connections you need to make to network yourself in a certain genre of work. And I need you to think about ways you can appeal to the people that have the power to give you the jobs that you're chasing after, and at what stage those powerful people need you. When will they hire you? So that piece of advice is for a specific type of person that's in this webinar today. I didn't want to leave them out. Okay, for everyone in general. So as much as your business is probably really personal to you, or maybe it's representative of who you are, you're ultimately always going to be serving someone. And that someone is in charge of deciding whether or not they want to come to you and purchase your goods or your services and talents. And so if someone has that much power over you and they have that much power over the success of your business, don't you want to know exactly who the heck these people are? I mean, I know, I want to know. So start to ask yourself, how much do they make? Where do they live? How likely are they to buy your products or to hire you? Is there enough of this type of person that you can choose to alienate everyone else and maybe only work with this one demographic? Like, I don't know, say for example, you're a yoga studio and you want to work on delivering a message in 2015 to moms that like yoga. Are there enough moms that like yoga in your area? Or maybe you need to abandon that idea and have a broader branding message to scoop up more so you can actually capture enough income for the year so you stay afloat and don't have to close your doors. Like, I don't know, catering to vegan male tattoo artists under the age of 25. And that sounds great. That's probably not smart because there's only, I don't know, maybe 30 of those people worldwide, and who knows, probably only one in your local area. So don't alienate yourself. With that is going to come a strong caution or a piece of advice about being flexible. I want you guys, when you're thinking about this for yourselves, to make sure you build in some flexibility into your plan. Having an awesome and really tight picture in mind of what your ideal client looks like, or what age they are, or where they hang out on the weekend. I mean, that's really important for you. But you also need to keep in mind that you may connect with someone who doesn't fit that exact ideal target market image. And so you start to question yourself, like, why is that? And it's because people are not an exact science. That's what makes them so amazing and wonderful. People can surprise you, and there is always going to be the opportunity to connect with someone that's a decision maker, and you can bond with them over something that you guys share in common. So have a good connective idea of the majority of people you're going to be addressing in 2015. That's a smart idea. But just know that there's going to be some rare people who fall on the outskirts of that definition, and just keep your mind open, be open to that. So what do you do after you have a really clear picture of who the heck you're serving? Ta-da! Once you understand your audience, it's time to create a brand experience that makes sense to that audience, and then replicate that throughout the year. And sometimes it's as simple as starting a conversation and crafting a brand touch point that means something to that person. And once you know who you're talking to, you can start to break it down into seasonal chunks that really make your brand messages and marketing efforts effective and relevant. And that's what this is about. It's about being effective, relevant, and organized. So once you know who you're dealing with, it becomes a hell of a lot easier to determine what your best assets are and how you want to make people feel. So do you want to be maybe, I don't know, an authority figure or teacher in your industry that people look up to? If that's one of your goals, then maybe it's time to sit down and assess what time of year do you think that someone will most likely want to come and attend the class that you're teaching. Or maybe let's switch it up. Do you want your clients to fall madly, totally crazy in love with your personality? Or maybe you want to make your brand and your business feel incredibly trustworthy and safe because that's important to your industry. So both of those activities are things that you need to build on over time. You can't earn trust overnight. So maybe that's what you will want to focus on for all of 2015. So once you've determined who your audience is, then it's time to figure out what their needs are. Can you maybe identify a problem, a desire, a want, a need that your services and products can fulfill? By thinking of your marketing and brand message in this way, you're now positioning yourself to think about your yearly goals from the viewpoint of your potential customer instead of from the not so great viewpoint of a business owner trying to reach a customer. I mean, what do you guys think is more effective? Probably the first one. Each business, all of you guys, you're going to be so incredibly different. All of us, we all have different goals. We have different audiences. We have different clients. So this specific journey of identifying your audience, identifying touch points that you want to do throughout the year, your focus, it's going to be different for all of you. I recommend taking the time to really sit, answer your broad questions that we talked about before, determine what is special about you and your business, and then start plotting out some activities on a calendar. So, I mean, let's just say for an example, you're a dog washing company and maybe your business is booming in summer and you slow down in winter. So you take a look at your calendar and you're like, I'm really, really busy in the summer and I'm really, really deathly slow in the winter. So if you start to think about it, how about you throw a party centered around dogs, putting on adorable and ridiculously cute sweaters and getting their pictures taken with Santa in your shop? That's great. So why not? You should plan that out. Each and every one of you needs to spend time determining what's going to be best for you and your business. And since we're talking about brand planning, let's continue this idea of breaking it down into a yearly concept. Let's start to take a look at what problems or challenges your customers face during each quarter of the year and how that might coincide with your slow or busy seasons. I said the word quarter. For peeps out there who have no idea what the heck a quarter is, that's just big business talk for breaking down the year into 3-month chunks or seasons. So the first quarter of the year, quarter number 1 is winter, quarter 2 is spring, quarter 3 summer. It's all broken down into 3-month stretches. So really what we're doing here is, by breaking things down into 3-month chunks, is we're looking for opportunities in bite-sized pieces. And you're seeking them out over a calendar year because ultimately you want to stay organized and you really do not want to overload yourself with way too many tasks in one part of the year. Anyone can do this. This is not hard. It's as simple as thinking about your brand and what ways your brand can touch people in meaningful ways that are relevant to those people throughout the year. And doing in this way, it greatly reduces your stress. You have no idea how many clients I hear panic about slow season. I'm freaking out. I'm not booking clients. So when you're slow and you're doing something like this, you're not sitting in your office freaking out trying to figure out what the hell you did wrong. Instead, when you break your year down like this, you'll know you're coming up on slow season. Okay, I know it's coming. It's on the calendar. I've already planned a ton of great activities for myself. I'm going to keep myself busy. I'm going to be active. And then you'll know for a fact that you didn't screw anything up because you've been working on your marketing and branding before you were way before you were even slow. And you'll realize and recognize, okay, it's just slow season. There is nothing to panic about. So instead of panicking, you can take that energy and put it in a positive place. So if you're looking at your year quarterly and say, for example, I don't know, you're a restaurant. Let's just pretend you're a restaurant. So you're looking at your calendar and you might see a huge opportunity in quarter 2 and quarter 3, which is spring and summer. So if it's spring and summer and you're a restaurant, you're saying to yourself, weather is nice. Everyone is so tired of being cooped up indoors. It's been winter forever. People are now starting to vacation. They want to spend time enjoying themselves away from the house. So if this is you, what is it you think your clients probably really want in quarter 2 and 3? Outdoor seating, right? They want outdoor seating and they want fresh summer vegetable dishes. They want to eat it on the patio. They want great weather outside on a patio, mimosas, all of that good stuff. So clearly you can already plan ahead to create a great brand experience for your customers by saying, cool, in quarter 2 and 3, we are going to throw a ton of awesome patio parties. We're going to have live music. We're going to have a mobile cocktail bar. We're going to do dogs on the patio. Come and bring your dog down. It'll be great. We're going to have special summer vegetable dishes that anyone can eat on the patio. Like, I don't know, something like a spicy, fresh grilled veggie dish or a barbecue, or hell, bucket margaritas out the yin yang. It just sounds awesome. I kind of want to go to this restaurant now. Okay, so let's pretend if you're a photographer, let's do this again. And let's say you shoot weddings. Then quarter 1, that's coming up, right? Quarter 1 starts in January because it's breaking down in 3-month chunks. Quarter 1, you know everyone got engaged in last year's quarter 4. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, everybody got rings for Christmas. So from January to March, you're going to start creating marketing messages and marketing campaigns that help newly engaged couples find vendors that fit them, like, da-da, yourself. Awesome. How do you make yourself look better? Well, you can write blog posts for newly engaged couples. You can throw planning parties for newly engaged couples. You can send out snail mail for referral system. Do you know any newly engaged couples? Literally anything you can think of for your target demographic that's going to help you and be relevant to them. So if you plan ahead, you're going to put yourself in a position where your brand can really wow the pants off of someone, and that you are literally connecting with them on a level they need you on, and that they're so excited that your brand somehow magically understands them. That you are going to set yourself apart from your competitors by doing this. And each quarter of the year, your target market, they're going to face something new. Each 3-month period is going to present itself with an opportunity for you to be smart and savvy and make a plan to really kick some butts and deliver a message that actually means something to the person that you're trying to reach. When you start to look at the experience of your brand on a yearly basis and then break it down into 3-month chunks or quarterly, 1, 2, 3, it gets so much easier to plan your year, and it's so much easier to react dynamically. So you're not going to miss any opportunities because you're going to be right on top of things. You're creating some dynamic and interesting new events, or maybe some menu items, or maybe services to sell, because you're awesome and you know your target market needs something from you during that time period. Okay, don't want to leave the actors out. If you're an actor, or maybe you're a hand letterer or artist, one way to use this technique is to break down your year into slow and fast seasons. And you guys need to determine when the best time to connect with a hiring agency would be. And then also to recognize what that agency might be dealing with in that specific quarter, because they have slow and fast seasons as well. Okay, so this idea, it's all about leaving less to chance and figuring out what someone needs from you and when. And then smartly offering your services in the most enticing way you possibly can. So instead of just sitting back or maybe doing 1 or 2 things during the year, it's about taking an active role in your future. It's about pushing back against that feeling of being uncertain. This is smart brand planning. So sit down, break your calendar out, break your year into 3-month chunks, and then really ask yourself, what does my ideal customer need from me during this specific time period? Okay, tips to stay on track, because it is super easy to not stay on track. I know that for a fact. So let's dive into a few extra little tips to make sure you guys stay on track. So once you determine who you're talking to, then you break your year into 3-month chunks, and you determine what issues your clients, or maybe the agencies that you're dealing with, might be experiencing in those periods. And then you've started to figure out a good plan of what you're going to be doing during those times. I want to give you some extra little tips on how to really make sure your plan goes off without a hitch, because it's tough. It's tough to take all this on. Tip number 1. Always focus on how and where you want your target market to experience your brand, and take control of the activities you're doing right now. And specifically, I mean social media. Okay, more often than not, everyone relies heavily on social media to connect with their customers or clients in real time. It's just the modern world. But now would be an excellent time of the year right now to stop, assess, look at what ways you can improve how people view and experience your brand. Do you need to work on better voice and tone? Are people not enticed because you're not writing engaging copy on your blog or your social media that actually means something to them? This is all about taking small, concise efforts and just putting everything into it and making sure that you're keeping an eye on regular activities that you do every single day and not making it blasé, and keeping a focus of your brand awareness in mind. And these little touch points, they can help rocket you to the next level and connect you with some brand loyalists that end up falling totally madly in love with you. And the other thing too, so things that you do every day that people experience every day, website. So maybe your website is where you're, I don't know, gathering all your leads. A lot of you probably are gathering a lot of leads on your website. So it's probably through your contact form, right? A huge complaint we hear very frequently is that people are getting an incredibly obnoxious amount of tire kickers just wanting pricing, or people, they just want to talk to you without hiring you or whatever. So what if you could craft a better, more saleable experience on your website? And what if you could really get people to fall madly in love with you and your message before they even contact you, before they even get that contact form in front of them? It's all about taking control of that experience and starting to craft ways you want people to connect with you on an everyday basis. So that is tip number one. It's a really, really huge tip, but keep it in mind, your everyday stuff adds up to a whole year. So make sure you pay attention to your everydays. Tip number two, make sure to write things down. Anyone that is a branding client of mine that is in this webinar, you have probably gotten a planner from me. I am huge into writing things down. Don't just make a mental plan. Make your plan a tangible, living thing, something you can share with another person. Make sure your ideas about raising brand awareness are part of your everyday business activities and share it with someone else. Talk to someone about it. Get feedback. Hold yourself accountable. The more strategic you are, the better off you'll be. So write it down, a mental plan. It's literally. Okay. Tip number three, please do not overschedule yourself. You might, I don't know, you might want to teach a free class every 3 months, and then you're going to put on a weekly podcast, and then you're going to write a new blog post every single day. But you got to ask yourself, do you really have enough time to do all of those things? Or do you have enough time to maybe just do some of those things? People get really super stoked about the beginning of the year. They're like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, and I'm going to cut out sugar, and I'm going to be like a beefcake by June. And then people fall off the bandwagon because they overload themselves. At the end of the day, your time, it is not a renewable resource. If you need to reach out to ask for help, you absolutely should. But if honestly, afford staff, you need to work smarter and not harder. And that goes hand in hand with keeping a super clean monthly plan. If you know you're going to be really busy during Q3 and you can't possibly do that podcast that you want to every single week, then maybe you could pre-record 10 podcasts when you're in a super slow, boring season. I mean, there's honestly nothing wrong with using your time to your advantage, but that's a part of taking a look at your year and making a plan. When you work on brand planning on a quarterly basis, it's going to give you a distinct clarity to your business and your brand. You're going to be able to see when you're slow and when you're not slow. You're going to be able to see everything very, very clearly. So ultimately, it's all about reducing your stress, reducing your anxiety, reducing your panic. And it helps you, all of this, it helps you keep your income steady throughout the year because you're just being smart about things. Yay, we're getting close to the end, you guys. I'm so proud of you guys for staying. So, okay, as we wrap up, I want to give you guys, this is your opportunity to submit to the live Q&A, and then we're going to start answering your questions from Twitter in a minute. So before we do that, I want to go over some last little tidbits and tools, some cool things that you might not know about that you'll probably get a huge kick out of. A great way to keep track of notes on the go, because I am really big into notes and writing things down. I highly suggest using a note tracking system of some sort. Okay, in the PostFilm family, we are constantly thinking of things. We always have tons of ideas flying around in our heads. So what we are using right now is Evernote. So that's a good example of a note tracking system on the go. Personally, I like to use it because I snap pictures, make notes of things I like, examples of brands in the real world. And so I'm kind of using Evernote to house my jumbled thoughts of everything I think of before I take the good parts of my jumbled thoughts and put them in a place that makes a little bit more sense, maybe to share with someone. So Evernote is great. There's a mobile app for it. It's perfect for people that don't like carrying paper and pen, but a paper and pen would do just fine. All right, another tool. I really encourage you guys to check out some sort of project management. Keep track of all of your activities. Create daily tasks. Keep yourself focused. Our team, we're huge advocates for Trello. We plan every project, every task on Trello, and we actually interact with clients directly through Trello as well, because we create their projects on Trello. So we work as an organization, as PostFilm. We all communicate together privately. And the cool thing is that you can use Trello to break out a board. You can create your quarterly plan with checklists and due dates. And it actually has a cool notification system. It keeps you on track with your timeline. And for us, Trello has been a huge life changer. I mean, it's helped us speed up our process. We've become more organized. And believe it or not, we've only been using it for a year. And in the last year, we've become way more profitable because we're actually rocking it way harder. Okay, last tool. I encourage you all to start some better brand planning system through automating and tracking your social media. We are using Hootsuite to track our social media, and being able to schedule everything in one place is literally a godsend. So for you guys, it's gonna help you monitor how people are interacting with your brand. And having everything in one place, it helps cut down on outside noise, it keeps you focused, it's on top of things. I mean, honestly, there's nothing worse for a brand than a missed chance at connecting with someone because you just didn't see the notification in time, or maybe you got distracted, you saw the notification and you're like, crap, I gotta log into like 5 other places, and then you completely forget about it. So streamline your social media as much as you can, keep it in one place, make sure you're on top of it, stay consistent. And ultimately, those are our 3 favorites right now. Honestly, there are tons of tools out there. There are additional tools that can help you streamline how you connect with clients, how you interact with them, how you track them, stuff to help you keep focused. If you're interested in learning more about that, you should give us a shout. Jared, the handsome man on Twitter, is amazing at automating things. He's just revolutionized PostFilm and how we handle all of our stuff. So if you're interested in learning more about maybe stuff that we've seen or things that we're using, you can give us an email shout, no problem, or Twitter or whatever, and we're happy to share that with you. All right, so before I get into live Q&A, I wanted to take this moment, yay, say first of all, thank you so much, and to also make an announcement. PostFilm is officially opening our doors and offering consultation services to small businesses looking for help with branding in 2015. Yay! We're cooking up consultation packages, and we're going to start them with a brand audit. We're going to assess the health and strength of your current brand. Then we're going to roll it into an open and communicative relationship with specific steps and tasks to help you accomplish your goals and to solve whatever current branding problems are really nagging you. And we believe that by adding this specific consultation service, that we're going to be able to help so many more people accomplish their goals. And we're going to help you create better relationships with your clients overall. And also, second announcement, we still have full brand strategy and design client openings for our first quarter of 2015. I think we have like 3 spots left for Q1. So I really encourage you guys to come connect with us. If you're interested in any of those things, just give us a shout. So yay, all right, congratulations, we made it to the end. I think it is time for Q&A. And then after Q&A, what we're gonna do is we are going to go into our giveaway. So think we're gonna do Q&A until about 8 p.m. and then we'll move into our giveaway. Cool, so Jared has been awesome and has been collecting great questions. So one of the questions is, if you are a one-man show, how do you find specific demographics about your audiences? Are there resources you can use? Amazing, and that is from Girl Is All Right, AJ Dobbs, super smart question. Okay, smart question. So if you are interested in gathering demographics about your specific audience, I highly recommend, if you have existing clients right now, to send them a survey. People are terrified of surveys. They hate them. They're scared of what people are going to say about them. But honestly, if you're smart and you craft your survey to gather the most stats information you can about what you did right and maybe some of the things you did wrong, how old your clients are, what do they like to do on the weekends, then you are going to be able to get in touch with someone that has hired you in the past, and you're going to be able to start to build an assessment on an actual real demographic, which is badass. It's what you want. So don't be afraid. Create a survey or something in Google Docs. They have a little survey that you can do there. It's super easy. Craft 10 questions, send it out to past clients, and get people to answer it. And oh, hey, tip about surveys. If someone hasn't answered a survey within the first 24 hours, send them a follow-up email because you want their answer. Cool. All right, next question. Hopefully that answers that question. Sarah V. Hi. Aw, hi, Sarah V. How often should we refresh our branding collateral that goes to clients, like packaging, thank you gifts, thank you cards and gifts, etc.? Great question. So refresh. So I think that goes along specifically with each business and what their ultimate goals are. There is no true marker as far as like creating new branding graphic or new brand collateral once a year. I think it has a lot to do with what your goals are. So say, for example, like PostFilm, it's easy for me to use as an example because we're easy to explain. We're growing a lot. So how our packaging and thank you gifts were 3 years ago are completely different from what we're going to be developing in 2015 because we have a different audience. So if you have continuously the same type of clients, you know what they like, maybe they like craft beer, it's easier to kind of stick with the same stuff, and it's easier to order in bulk than say if you're interested in moving in like different areas. Like I'm going to take my brand and I'm going to start talking to artisanal circus performers. So what those clients want as a thank you gift are going to be drastically different than what your quote unquote normal clients are going to want. And hopefully that makes sense. So assess what your goals are. Do you want to book maybe a luxury client? Do you want to stick with just your same demographic? And just make sure you keep updated with the times. Don't send them something from 1992. Clearly that's terrible, but just assess what your goals are and be smart about it. Okay, another question. What's the best way to attract bigger crowds for a lunchtime restaurant through branding? From Metro Creperie, and you are in Atlanta. Yay, a creperie. I should check you guys out. Okay, attracting a bigger lunch crowd. Okay, it depends on where you are. If you are located downtown, you have a huge opportunity to assess your market. It's going to be a massive lunch crowd, and you just need to get connected to that community. If you are on the off beaten path, if you are tucked away in a neighborhood somewhere, I'm not sure exactly where La Metro Creperie is located. If you are tucked inside of a neighborhood like Grant Park or somewhere just totally random, you're gonna have a harder time getting a lunchtime crowd coming in. So you're gonna have to work your buns a lot harder to connect with the community, to either get them to come from out of the way or find out and assess what your community is doing in your local area. So I don't know if you need to join an association and connect with other like-minded businesses in that area, if you need to start throwing events in your space, if you need to start really pushing a lunchtime special, whatever it is that you need to do to get connected to the people in your community, you need to do it. And again, simple answer is if you are in downtown and people are taking an hour lunch break, Lord have mercy, you've got the world at your fingertips. And if it's tucked into a neighborhood, it's going to be a little bit tougher, but it's not something you can do it. Anything you want to do, you can put your mind to. Okay. Rudy from Rudy and Marta. Yay, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, question. Would you have a third party gather data on surveys or do them in-house? Super good question, okay. PostFilm has done things in-house forever for our own surveys, and we feel that for our clients, for touch points, it is a lot easier to send something from someone they know. Now, the extra super hilarious trick is usually we have a team member, not me, send the surveys because people have a hard time, because I'm in charge of everything, so people have a hard time sending a survey answer back to me because they know I'm reading it. But the best part is if I have one of the team members send it on PostFilm's behalf, people are way more honest. So if you need to create a nondescript email, that's probably going to be easier for you. If you have access to a third party to send it on your behalf, even better. It's, again, if that's a budget thing, if you think it's going to be beneficial for you to do that, then I highly recommend it. It's great. I don't think there's any really wrong way to do it though. So hopefully that answers that question. Another one, Tavon, Watch for Curves. It's a great name. If your brand is yourself via a blog, can you blog or tweet too much or too often? That is a really good question. So you can, because no one likes a crazy girlfriend. I call it the crazy girlfriend syndrome. I'm working with Shootproof right now, and it's something I brought up and the whole team laughed. So if you send way too many emails, you sound like a desperate girlfriend after, or emails or blogs or tweets. You might sound like a desperate girlfriend after the first date. Hey, how are you doing? What are you up to? Wasn't our date last night amazing? It was great. I can't wait to talk to you. You want to talk? You want to talk now? How about tomorrow? So if you sound desperate in any way, if you're annoying, if you're being obnoxious, definitely assess and don't do that. Just want to say, please don't do that. Can you blog too often? I mean, if you have relevant information, if you have stuff that's important to say, if you're an interesting personality, no. If you have stuff people enjoy and they like, no, people are going to love it. They want to hear from you. But if you're just being an annoying girlfriend, then yes, it's too much. All right. Mariana from Kismis Inc. Hi, girl. She's one of our past branding clients. So the question is, with the brand evolving over time and new collateral / new clients, how do you recommend to tie in / refresh past clients? Let me read this again. Okay. So I'm assuming that your brand is growing and that you may be attracting more targeted clients. And if your past clients are not targeted clients, but you still want to keep them informed, I highly recommend that you create a newsletter that they can opt into and create content for them that still makes them feel relevant. And now I'm only saying this if your past clients are sending you referrals that are targeted. I don't want to tell you to ignore past clients that may not be targeted. You should keep in touch with them. If you have a relationship with them, you shouldn't ignore them, but you also need to use your time wisely. You shouldn't spend a ton of time appeasing past clients that are not going to be helpful for you in the future. Of course, don't forget them, don't ignore them, but don't worry so much about them. Make sure that they're appreciated and loved and that you know they exist and that you exist and vice versa and all that stuff, but don't spend too much time catering to them. If you are in the middle of making a massive brand change, I highly suggest segmenting your audience. So say, for example, you are now targeting a luxury audience or maybe a larger business model, and you also have smaller clients. Segment your audience, segment your pricing, be smart about it. Make sure that if you have access to new opportunities with larger companies or larger customers or larger clients, that you're pricing appropriately for those people. But if you are still developing that and you have people paying you at a price and that's your bread and butter, don't alienate those people. So hopefully I answered the question. All right, good, that's it. And we made it to 8 o'clock. Yay, we have no more questions, is that it? I just talked so fast. Okay, let's give away some stuff. So Jared, would you like to help me? We are going to give away Shootproof I think it's to their 1,500 plan for a year for free. I'm just gonna go to a photographer. So anyone that tweeted at us, one of the photographers, let's give it away. Because he has collected all of the info for whoever interacted with us, which thank you, by the way. Thank you so much. Super excited that you guys did that. Yay. So just a second. Oh, another thing too. If you came in late or you know someone that really would love this webinar, we are recording it. It's thank you Google Plus, thank you Hangouts. It's going on YouTube and we're gonna be sending it out in the list so you can share it with people tomorrow. We're still looking for someone else. Let's see. So yeah, tomorrow we'll send this in an email to you guys tomorrow. Oh, Jared just came up. Rudy and Marta. Yay, Rudy and Marta won the Shoot Proof 1,500 for a year. Woo! Awesome, congratulations. Okay, Rudy and Marta, we will email you with all the contact information to get in touch with Shoot Proof. Make sure that you get your prize. Congratulations, a year of Shoot Proof. Amazeballs. All right, so next giveaway, Shea Latte Coffee. Shea Latte is a brand new up and coming company. She's really wonderful. I had the pleasure of trying her coffee out at a festival and it was great. And she is local to Atlanta, which is really cool. So hopefully we pick someone that really likes coffee, but she has some fair trade stuff. Her brand is really interesting. She's helping creatives stay focused, which I think is a really cool brand message. So she's new and she is really cool. So we will hook you up with a bag of locally roasted coffee. Caroline and Evan, yay, you guys got coffee. Woohoo! Okay, we will email you with coffee and information to get the coffee tomorrow. And I think it's a choice of whatever she's roasting that week, so that's gonna be really cool. All right, 90-minute consultation with Elle, me. It's private and it should be really fun. Anyone can have it. So let's see who is going to get a 90-minute consultation with moi. Any one of you guys would be great. Let's see who Jared ends up picking. Le Metro Creperie. Woo! Okay, we will email you Le Metro Creperie and talk to you. Oh, that's cool because you're going to be in Atlanta. Maybe we can like meet face to face. Maybe I can come to your crepe shop. Neat. All right, high fives. All right, y'all. Congratulations, we made it to the end. I hope you guys learned a lot. Thank you so much for attending. If you guys have feedback, if you have any suggestions of topics that you would like us to cover in the new year, we're thinking about maybe doing one of these every quarter. Now you know what a quarter is, maybe for a year. We will see, at least 2. So if you have anything that you want us to talk about or questions or feedback, let us know. All right, thanks guys.